Hi everybody, welcome back to your Small Spaces movement classes. Today we're going to go through a quick little Pilates warm-up, great time to do in the morning if you're looking for a little cool down or just want a quick little check-in and movement for your body. I'm here on a mat. You're always welcome to just be on carpet, on a rug, something soft that won't feel bad on your back as you move. We're going to start seated, so you can find your way to a nice tall seat. I like cross-legged, but if you're more comfortable with your legs long, that's always fine. And we'll start with a little bit of breath. So draw your hands onto your rib cage. I like to tuck my thumbs to the back because that way you can feel the full expanse of the rib cage as you move rather than just in the front. So hands onto your ribs right at the top underneath of your chest. Take an inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. Couple more together. Deep breath in and out. Last time together, guided. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Good. And you'll continue here on your own with that same breath pattern for a couple more rounds as I do, so I'm explaining. So while you're breathing in and out of your rib cage, Pilates, we're looking for a lateral breath that runs along to the outsides of your ribs and your lungs. A little different than that rise and fall of your chest or of your belly. In Pilates, we're looking for lateral movement with your breath because oftentimes we're finding core connection, right? Pulling the abdominals in, seeing what's happening with the spine and pelvis. And so if we're breathing into the rib cage, that lets us stay connected with the core. If we breathe into the belly or into the chest, we lose the core connection. Those are not wrong breaths. It's just not how we breathe in Pilates. So still taking inhales through your nose and exhales through your mouth. Good. Hands on your ribs so you can feel that movement as you breathe. So still taking those deep breaths in at your own pace, seeing if you can feel your breath move outward. It's very different than how we're used to breathing, so it can take a little bit of practice, but that's all any movement type is. It's just practice. Good to know that whether you're at home or whether you're in a class, breath is not disruptive. It's not taking up space. It's not supposed to. It's necessary. And it's a really big piece of Pilates, right? It is woven into the practice as it was written. Joseph Pilates, when he was creating it back, 100 years ago, breath was still a main pillar. We're here to do mind-body work. We're here to do mindfulness practice. And our breath is what activates that parasympathetic nervous system. That's your rest and digest state, rather than the sympathetic, which is your fight or flight. If we're in fight or flight, can't be mindful, right? We're trying to just survive. Let's take one more round of breath together. Beautiful. From here, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. We'll do our shoulder and scapula isolation. Reach your arms long out in front of you again. However you're sitting is totally fine. From here, you'll start to reach your straight arms forward. And then keeping them straight, you'll reach them back towards you a couple inches. And that's it, forward and back. I'm going to be showing everything up here on my mat if you need to see. I think Pilates can look or seem intimidating, especially the equipment, but it's all really low impact, low intensity, meant for anybody who just wants to feel good, yeah? So shrugging forward and back, getting some movement into your scapula, into your shoulder blades. It's basically a protraction and retraction of your scapula. Sometimes people want to bend the arms to bring them in, but it's just that shrug forward and back. Should start to feel like some warmth happening in your shoulder girdle, right? Where your shoulders are held. And we do a lot of isolation in Pilates so we can make sure we're focusing on specific parts of the body when we need to. We'll take two more. And you can follow that same breath that we started with all throughout our class today. Right. Fantastic. From here, send your legs out long in front of you. Make sure you have space behind you to lower to your back again. I'm in my small space. Whatever space you have is just fine. Arms and legs out long. You'll slowly start to tuck and roll back. Now make sure as you're rolling back that the lower vertebrae are meeting the mat, then the middle, then the upper, then the head and neck, right? That's part of that C curl, that flexion in your spine. From here, bend your knees and plant your feet on the mat. And we'll move into what's called our pelvic rocks. Everything just going to be some nice simple movement for our little sequence and class today. For your pelvic rocks, whether you're seasoned, whether you're new, I always recommend creating a triangle with your hands, palms to your hip bones, fingertips connect into a triangle down on your pubic bone, and thumbs connect a little below your belly button. Now, Pilates is all about the neutral, right? It's all about your pelvic and spinal position. If you take a class, you'll hear that being talked about a lot. And it can seem complicated, but it's really about holding yourself in a, neutral position. So that looks like with your pelvic rocks. On your inhale, you'll slowly tuck and round your tail under you, feeling that triangle towards you. On your exhale, start to return through center, triangle is flat, and then you'll tip your triangle away into extension. Try it a couple more times, inhaling as you come in, exhaling as you push away. Good. Fingers on the body, right, hands in that triangle, are just to help you with that movement. I find your own touch can be really helpful, especially in a class, right? You're one of many people sometimes. You can imagine a glass of water in the middle of your triangle. You can imagine a marble, especially if you're more visual. There's lots of visual ways to explain and think about Pilates. And you're just rocking your pelvis forward and back. So it's not going to be a big movement like a bridge. Your hips are not lifting off the mat. My tailbone, no matter which of the three positions I'm in, my tailbone is staying grounded. So you're just rocking forward and back. It's helping you to feel your neutral, your flexion, which is when your spine is rounded, and your extension when your spine is extended or opened, right? We'll take two more. And one. Good. Return to center. We'll move into what's called our pelvic clock. So I recommend keeping that triangle down towards your pubic bone is now 12. Your right hip bone is 3. Towards your navel is 6. And your left hip bone is 9. And now you'll rock in, instead of forward and back, you'll rock in a circle. So on your inhale, tilt your pelvis forward to 12. Start to exhale as you come over to 3 to the right. You'll round under for 6, over to the left for 9, and back to 12. You'll continue clockwise for a couple more rounds. So rolling your pelvis in a circle. You're still finding that flexion and extension, right? The two peaks of that pelvic rock. But it's now moving in a circle. This might feel really clunky or awkward. This oftentimes is not the smoothest movement on earth, and that's completely fine. It's just to get movement into your pelvis, range of motion work, as well as good muscle memory work for your neutral, because a lot of the times in class when you're moving around and things are moving at a quick pace, it's helpful to know what your neutral doesn't feel like so that you can further solidify for your mind what your neutral feels like. Next time you're back to 12, you'll go counterclockwise. So 12, to the left for 9, under for 6, back to 3, and then 12. So reversing that direction of your circle, one way might feel more natural than the other. It's all good. Yeah, we're just here to move. Open up the pelvis and the spine, find some breath, and work on what it means to be in our neutral. A couple more rounds in that counterclockwise direction. Always remembering to breathe. Last one. Yeah, and then return back to your neutral, your center. For your reference, your neutral, your tailbone is ironed, and there's a sliver of space underneath your low back, really slight, enough for like a credit card or a piece of paper. So really slight in that neutral. Great. Release your arms down by your sides. We'll do a little bit of bridge. This kind of adds on to your pelvic rock. Arms are along by your side. Before you lift anything, actively press your palms, arms, and shoulders into the mat. Feel how much that opens up your chest and collarbones. And your arms are really big support as you lift your hips in your bridge. So on your inhale, just like your rock, start to tuck your tail towards you. And then exhale, rise and lift your hips all the way up off the mat into a bridge. Inhale at the top. And then exhale, articulate down, meaning you'll rest upper back, middle back, lower back. Back to your neutral. And you'll continue like that, your own pace, your own breath. Inhale as you rise. Exhale as you lower. Good. As you're continuing in this bridge, you just feel like good movement for your spine. Not that it's not effort. Bridge is a lot of effort. But we want to make sure that we start to involve our abs. A lot of the time in bridge, we're squeezing the glutes and just pressing the body up. Especially at the top of our bridge, you'll see that the belly's lifted to the ceiling. What we're looking for is control and movement coming from your core. So as you start to curl up, belly pulls in towards your spine. That just means engage. And then at the top, check in. Glutes are there. They're not doing nothing. But if you're death grip squeezing them, release a little bit, start to connect to your core, and then slowly articulate all the way back down. We'll do that a couple more times. And lower. However, how you're lifting your hips is great. Yeah, it's your bridge. It's not mine. Good, we'll do one more. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, lower all the way down. Beautiful. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe a little rock side to side or a circle of your knees each way along your lower spine, your lumbar spine. Would feel nice. And then we'll do a little bit more spinal work, but seated. So straighten your legs out long. And I'm in a very small space, so I can't really reach my arms up overhead. You're welcome to as you do this roll up. I'm going to start with my arms down. For your roll up, a lot of the time when we're moving through this, we're slingshotting up and not really letting our core do that work. We want the core to do the work. So you're welcome to reach up overhead. My arms will just be down because I don't have the space. Take an inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, curl, abs, 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 abs as you rise back up to your tall seat. And we'll do that twice more. Inhale. Exhale, lower again like we did before. Lower back, middle back, upper back. You can reach your arms up, but I'm just going to bring them down. Inhale. Chin to chest, curl, 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 curl. Let your abs do the work as you return to the top. And we'll do that one more time. Slowly roll back. One vertebra at a time. Inhale. Exhale, curl. Beautiful. Now that we're up at the top, we'll do a little bit more spinal work. I'm going to scoot back and just slightly over to one side because that's the space that I have. This is your spine series. From your mat work, this is all mat Pilates because we don't have the equipment. It's just us and the mat. So starting with some lateral flexion. Lateral flexion is side to side flexion of your spine, side bending basically. Bring your hands behind your head and then press your head into your hands. Good. Now a nice long neck. A lot of the time when we side bend, it starts to curl in and then we're kind of just crunching side to side and it's not doing very much for your spine. So hands behind your head, nice long neck. Inhale. Exhale, starting to the right, you'll let your right elbow lead as you side bend over. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend left. Good. As you continue, anytime we're doing lateral flexion, right, side to side, we're looking for a little lift out of the waist. That way we're not just crunching. I think of it like a small inhale. So rather than a big breath up and over, it's just a small breath in. And then you side bend. Good. Starting to warm up your obliques, the sides of your abs, as you go side to side. Okay, this is one of our major ranges of motion for our spine. Pretty much every Pilates class. Anyway, it's the goal of your instructor to make sure you hit all the major ranges of motion for your spine. So flexion, extension, neutral, your lateral flexion, your twisting. We're always trying to hit each of those. Let's do one more side bend each way. And left. Good, return to center, and now we'll do a twist. So if you have space, you're welcome to reach your arms long again. I have what I have, so today I'm going to keep my hands behind my head. You could also do hands onto your shoulders. Those are all great choices. So, hands where you'd like them. Now, hips will really want to twist. They love to move with us when we twist, and there's sometimes where we really don't want them to. We want our spine to get all that great juicy movement. So hands where you'd like them. Inhale. Exhale as you twist to the right. I'm going to pull my left hip back because I know it wants to come with me. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist left, pull your right hip back. Good, and just think of that as you go side to side, rather than letting your hips rotate with you. Another sign that's happening is what's going on with your legs. If you feel the feet and the heels shifting, your hips are going with you. So twisting each way. Should feel like a nice ring out for your spine, right? Twisting is a really important range of motion. Should also feel good. We need to be able to twist. Pilates is all about resistance in the here on the mat. We don't have the springs and all the equipment. It's just us and our body. So we're resisting the air, which sounds silly, I know. It just means you move slow. Time under tension, right? That's the whole concept. Last time to the left. Good, and then bring your hands down. We'll take a quick butterfly stretch. Soles of your feet together, let your knees open out. That series can start to feel like a lot in the hip flexors. So rather than just crunching and curling over yourself in your butterfly, can you sit nice and tall, flat spine as you hinge towards your legs, and then curl and compress in. You're always welcome to send your arms further out. Sometimes I like to stay upright in a flat back. It's up to you. Doesn't matter how far you can go down. You don't have to be flexible to do these practices. Yoga, Pilates, we gain flexibility by being there. It's my least favorite misconception about either of the movement practices. You don't have to be flexible to do it. You gain that by being here. Good. And then press yourself up. I'm facing this way just so you can see me, but we're going to do our mermaid to finish. Mermaid is one of the exercises we have on all the equipment in Pilates, including the mat. Mermaid is a Z-sit. Right leg will stay out in front of you. Take your left leg behind you. Your right foot is towards your left inner thigh. On your inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, you'll take a side stretch over to the right. Right hand will plant, left arm up and over, and then seal your left glute and hip down the other side as you come up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, side stretch over, counter stretch to the left. Should just feel like a nice side body stretch, some hip opening. You're always welcome to sit cross-legged if Z-sit's not feeling good to you today. One more time with just your side bend. Next time you come up and over to the right, we'll add a twist. So start with your side bend, and then you're welcome to bring both hands down. This time you can explore left glute and hip lifting with you versus staying down. It just changes the sensation. And whenever you decide, you can then drop chin to chest, let your head hang. Come back through our side stretch, plant your right hand, lift your left arm, and then come back to your nice tall seat. To switch, just swing your legs around. If you're sitting cross-legged, you can switch the cross of your ankles. If you're in your Z-sit, this time left leg is in front of you, left foot to right inner thigh, right foot's back behind. Sides can be pretty different. This side is much tighter for me. It's harder for me to get my right glute and hip down. It's just your goal. It's just what you're working for. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, side stretch to the left first. This time, plant left hand, right arm up and over. Seal your right glute down. Inhale. Exhale, you'll switch, counter stretch. This one feels much tighter for me than any of the other three directions. These are all things to notice. This is a mind-body practice. This is mindfulness work. And we're here just to notice those imbalances. We are not perfectly symmetrical. Sure would be nice. But unfortunately, we are not. Inhale. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, rise. Exhale, side stretch to the right. This time we'll add our twist. So as you come over, starting with your side stretch and then both hands can reach down, you're welcome to explore right glute lifting versus right glute staying down. In this version of it, just changes how it feels. And then chin to chest, 2 breaths. Come back through your side stretch, right arm up, and then return back to your tall seat. If you're cross-legged, stay. Everyone else will make our way to cross-legged. Find your nice tall seat. And we'll finish how we started with just a little bit of our rib cage breathing, just a couple of rounds. Hands to your ribs, I like thumbs to the back. You're welcome to soften your eyes. Inhale. Exhale out. Last time, deep breath in. Exhale out. Good. Release your arms and just see how you feel. We're feeling a lot more open in your spine, a little bit of ab connection, opening the upper back. We didn't spend too much time on the hips and legs, but it's just a quick little series for you to dip your toes into Pilates or to get some nice nourishing movement. I will see you next time. Thanks for joining.